Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And it's time for our star ratings. I can't claim that they're super hot and fresh, Larson, because this thing went down like 48 hours ago.
I mean, relative to those other guys.
We're still
piping hot.
We're still clearing those other guys. But, you know, I think the friendos in the comments, I guess they can decide whether or not they feel like these are piping hot fresh. I get the feeling we're going to get some cold reactions, though,
Fine.
Larson.
I'll take the heat.
Hey.
I was busy Saturday. Heck, I was busy yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Really the first opportunity I've had to sit down. Well, I didn't really finish watching Deadline until last night.
Yeah, neither did I. Look, I wasn't ready on Sunday morning either. I'll take some of the heat off of you. Yeah.
Still quicker than those other guys. Let's get to it.
Okay.
Men's Iron Survivor Challenge match. That what's called Iron Survivor Challenge?
I think so. It's the Iron Survivor.
Iron Survivor match. Steve, what'd you give this one? You missed a drink in your water there.
Water tastes so much better out of my old water bottle, Larson.
Oh, you got it back. How about that?
I got it back, yeah.
I thought you said you weren't going to drink out of it.
Well, shockingly, Trip Rogers actually kept it pretty clean. It was like in pristine shape. It was cleaner than when he stole it from me. So, anyways, what match are we talking about? Iron Survivor?
Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Iron Survivor match.
Man, Iron Survivor. What did I give this? I think I gave it 4 stars. Let me double check here. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I didn't like it as much as I enjoyed the women's match, but I gave that a higher star rating, so it's all appropriate. I love this match, man. I think, honestly, Iron Survivor might be like my favorite stipulation match in WWE.
Same.
It's awesome. It's really cool. My only complaint, not enough pinfalls. I wanted more pinfalls. But otherwise, I thought it worked great, man. I thought all the participants involved, it was tons of fun. The Ethan Page stuff was funny. Seeing Obafemi again was great. I feel like if Obafemi came in and just started like pinfall, I think that would have made it a little bit better. Last year they went a higher number of pinfalls than this year.
One for the winner, at least by one for the winner.
Yeah, for the winner, but like all together. I think there was probably 4 additional pinfalls last year because multiple people had 3, one person had 2, one person had 4. So I think, in my estimation, more the better. Next year, I expect a floor of 5 for the winner. Everybody else, a floor of 3.
I think they had the ideal amount of pinfalls in this match because for our predictions, I got 4 of the 5 right. So I'm totally cool with that.
I imagine you are. I'm saying I did terribly in that section of predictions, so I'm pissed off. I want more, but obviously we're both biased in that respect.
Exactly.
What star rating did you give this thing?
I agree with you that I thought the women's Iron Survivor match was better because I thought from a storytelling perspective, there's a lot more interesting stuff going on in the women's one than the men, in my estimation. People are going to disagree, probably. I still thought this was a lot of fun. I gave it 3 3/4, not too far off from you. And yeah, the Iron Survivor match is my favorite stipulation match, probably going right now, because from the opening bell to the end, I feel like there's just a lot more drama.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know Meltzer was complaining. I saw this morning about how he was making the comparison between this and the War Games match, and that the early part of the match lacks audience interest, excuse me, in drama. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Dave?
It's
Iron Survivor match is all about drama.
Like, nothing can happen in the beginning stage of War Games. This is a mad dash. Who can get that pin? No, I love this because it's not even like an elimination match where people are like, oh, I'm just going to hang back while this pinfall happens. No, you want to prevent pinfalls and the more time you spend in that penalty box, oh my God, wasting time not getting pins.
Yep.
So no, I love that. I think it's a great concept. I mentioned this on WrestleJuice. My only thing that I would, and it went down in this match, the reason why I thought about it, when Ethan Page was like, no, I'm not going to get in there needs to be some consequences for that. It needs to be like either 60 seconds you're in that box or you're out of the match.
Double it up. Exactly. Double up the time of the penalty box if you refuse.
Yeah, exactly.
At the least, the clock shouldn't start until he steps foot in the penalty box.
Or there's got to be consequences in terms of like, okay, if you don't get in within a certain amount of time, you're out of the match. Then it's like, you better come to and get in that box because the sooner you're in, the better. Yeah.
Yeah. Soon you're in, soon you're out.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the NXT Underground match.
Or, hold on.
What?
Pins won't be counted for you if you don't get in the box first. So if you continue the match, your pins aren't going to matter. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. NXT Underground match. Lola Vice taking on Jada Parker. I thought this match was also a lot of fun. I thought the story of Jada wrestling the NXT Underground match like a pro wrestling match, working a limb, Lola's arm like she would in a standard pro wrestling match, and not coming through with the win because of that. Lola, in her element, considering her MMA background, got the opportunistic win, tapping out Jada. I thought this was really fun. The story is really well told. We saw the brick again. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought this was a lot of fun.
I gave it 3 3/4 because I also loved this match. I thought it was really fun. That brick needs to go. It doesn't look anywhere close to being like a real brick.
Yeah, I feel like that's the last we're going to see a brick for a little bit.
I would not expect them to use real brick. So this is a situation where the brick's got to go because it looks goofy. It doesn't really accomplish what it's supposed to do. But that's a fairly minor quibble because it's funny to me. But yeah, I like this match a lot, and I think these two have terrific chemistry. I'm looking forward to seeing where this feud could go next. They each have one win on each other, from what I understand, at least recently. And so yeah, man, I think they got great chemistry.
Agreed. Let's talk about the tag title match. You had Fraxium retaining against No Quarter Catch Crew. Steve, what'd you give this one?
Dude, I love this match. I gave this 4 1/4. I loved this match. I thought Tavion and Miles Bourne, is that his name?
Yep.
I thought they did. I'm always afraid that I'm going to get it mixed up with Evan Bourne.
Evan Bourne.
Yeah, but
the last name's the same. As long as you get the first name right, you're good.
I know. Yeah, I know. But that's with me. It's 50-50 shot. No, man. I thought that they showed out in a tremendous way, and I loved the story. You got it, dude. I love the opening bit where Axiom is doing all the work. He looks over at Frazier and he's like, a little bit longer, which you would think is kind of a heelish thing, but it's no, they're just keeping it real with each other. And that's what I love about this is that both guys are faces and you can see both men making their point, you know, you really can. And I guess Nathan Frazier, MVP of the show, because this dude, number one, is terrific, but he gets legitimately busted open. And it's one of those things where what a great visual going into the next match.
Yeah, that backstage segment with them.
Yeah.
Where Axiom's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to carry the load today. I'm going to carry us to victory.
And Frazier is just destroyed. His face looked like $1 million.
Well, he got a broken nose in the Iron Survivor match, it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And but it was really fantastic. He sold it so well. He sold getting beat up in that Iron Survivor so well that I thought it added so much texture to the story here. So yeah, I gave it a high rating. I give it 4 1/4.
I'm not too far off. I went 4 stars. Fraxium might be my favorite tag team in wrestling right now.
Yeah,
they're so good. Their chemistry, from a character perspective, not just in-ring perspective, their chemistry all around is so dang good. Their double team offense is awesome. And I thought this was a hell of a performance, especially from Tavion Heights. If he can figure out the character and promo aspect of wrestling, he is going far. Athletically,
dude,
he does some really impressive stuff in the ring.
Have you seen a guy so effectively translate amateur wrestling to pro wrestling? It's in such a fun way. Recently,
maybe not since Kurt Angle.
That's what I was thinking. Dude, that wrestling aspect of it, specifically translating that to how effective it could be in pro wrestling, it is such a fun thing to watch with him. That dude's ceiling is huge. It's high. It really is. I don't know necessarily what his promo is going to end up being like, or the character stuff necessarily, but if he can get that stuff, man. I mean, some people have been Brock Lesnar's out there proving that you kind of don't need a promo in order to translate that sort of stuff. I know he's a one-of-one guy, but man, Tavion, he's got, at least from the in-ring perspective, this early, this guy is going to be scary good. I really think that.
Yeah, Agreed. 4 stars for me. Let's talk about the NXT title match. Trick Williams retaining against Ridge Holland.
I am so curious to see what you're going to give this match.
I don't know. I'm waffling between 2 scores. It was... Compared to the other matches, it was not the best match on the card.
No, it was not. No.
Ridge Holland is not the most interesting wrestler.
No, he's not.
He's got a ways to go in terms of the in-ring story. So I thought the match was fine. There was nothing necessarily wrong with it. It picked up a little bit after they did the Mick Foley spot with Trick.
Yeah.
That's when I thought it picked up a little bit. But at the end, the outcome was there was no drama in terms of who was winning the match. We knew Trick was winning the match.
Yeah.
Maybe even say Trick didn't necessarily sell his neck effectively enough to put any doubt in your head about who was going to win the match.
Mm-hmm.
Considering he was taken out of the stretcher in the go-home show.
Yeah.
And then at deadline, he just had some tape on his neck. Some kinesiology tape. So
yeah.
I went 2 3/4. It was fine, but I didn't really think it was, compared to all the other matches on the card that were really good to great.
Yeah.
This one was just all right.
I went a little higher. I went 3 stars because the crowd was really good, and the crowd gave this match more than really it deserved.
Yeah.
Trick needs to be in there with somebody, and the problem with NXT right now with their men's division is that aside from like Wes Lee, and then maybe you can throw a Javon Evans in there because Javon's been wrestling since he's like 16, so he's got like a good 5-6 years I think under his belt, and the guy is really fun to watch, and I think that can help. But if Trick's not in there with like an Ilya or a Carmelo, the dude knows how to put on a serviceable match. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to get much more than that unless you've got one of those terrific match dudes in there with him. He's got everything, and I think sometimes, it's not like the men's main event scene right now is anything like it was back in 2019, where Trick would have benefited heavily by being in there with the Keith Lees, with the Swerves, with the Adam Coles, with all them, with the Ciampas, Roderick Strongs, Kyle O'Reilly's, all them dudes, Von Wagner's, all those guys.
Wait, what?
He would have benefited greatly from that class. Not Von Wagner. And so I kind of feel like there's way more of those dudes on main.
Yeah.
So I think once he gets to main, once he gets called up, because like the in-ring stuff it's not a prerequisite to get called up. You can, and on top of that, like the Florida, I looked at his schedule on the Florida Loop. It's not helping him either. He's in a lot of tag matches, and he's in matches with dudes that just aren't going to do it for him. So once he gets to main, I think by the time he's on a trajectory to hit his ceiling, I think he'll have had enough experience with really good wrestlers to get there himself, because that's what it takes. You got to be in there on a constant basis with really good wrestlers to up your game. We've seen that a million times before. Yep. Bianca Belair is like the biggest example for me. It's like she came out of NXT. She was very good, but once she got in there with the Baileys and, et cetera, dude, she skyrocketed, and the Sashas and stuff. Yeah. So, I gave this 3 stars. The crowd was into it. The stakes were high, and the crowd was treating this, but this was a serviceable match. It was not all that great.
Yeah. Hey, that venue was awesome.
Venue was terrific. Yeah, it was a great crowd, man. Yeah.
Let's talk the main event, the Women's Iron Survivor match. Steve, what'd you give this one?
I gave it 4.5 stars. The main reason, and you mentioned this as well, the storytelling, I think, in this match was also more substantial, but also the wrestling itself felt more substantial. When you got guys like in the Iron Survivor match, like the Javon Evans, like the Wes Lee, and the Nathan Frazier, you get a lot of cool, fun stuff, right? This was like the fucking wrestling was substantial here. And the gamesmanship was substantial here. And that's what put this match over for me in a major, major way. Somebody pointed out on the Wrestle Juice stuff too, that it was all baby faces here. And that kind of added a lot of fun to it. Ren Sinclair showed out, man. She had such a great showing, getting pinned by everybody, being in the penalty box forever, but really getting the crowd behind her because of that stuff. She was the relatable one. So everybody had a really terrific story in this match. And between the stuff that Sol Ruka just hitting like double soul snatchers on people, and it was Zarya showing out in a major way as a powerhouse, the star power of Stephanie Vaquer. Man, this match had it all. This was really, really fun stuff. And it seems like Julia's probably going to end up being the one on attempt number 2 to get that title off Roxanne Perez.
It definitely seems like it. Again, I think on every one of these, we're just a quarter star difference, which makes sense if your max on your scale is 6 and mine is 5. I gave it 4 1/4. I echo everything you said. And really a star-making performance, I thought, for Brenda Sinclair. The story of her eating so many pins, almost all of them, in fact.
Yeah.
And getting that one of her own to tie it up with, I don't know, like 45 seconds left.
Yeah.
High drama. You got Julia getting the winning pinfall with 20 seconds left, and then Stephanie Vaquer trying like heck to get the one to tie it up as time expired. And same with Javon Evans in the men's one. I thought that was great, where he hits that cutter right at the end, literally at the final horn.
Yeah, and his character work on that was awesome. Yeah. It was great. That dude, man, his ceiling is high.
Oh, it's
his
immense.
Ceiling is so high.
It really is. We got the burgeoning rivalry between Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. That was great. Just so many great interpersonal stories going on with this one that I thought really elevated it. Match of the night for me, 4 1/4 stars.
Yep, absolutely. We want to know what the friendos think, though, so let us know what your star ratings are for NXT Deadline in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.